Jack,
Yes.
welcome, mate.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you very much for having me.
No worries. Thanks so much for coming in. We're just chatting then about like bevying on tour and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
You said you had a bit of a mad one in Barcelona. Where you living now?
Yeah, that's where I live in Barcelona, yeah. Well, we're talking about the Spanish tour that we did?
Yeah.
What do we need to say about? Well, just, yeah, I think starting a tour in Spain, I think everyone kind of like thinks about it as like a little bit of a, it was kind of like a little bit of a holiday for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah.
And it was in November and everyone's going, we don't need to bring a coat, do we? We don't need to bring a coat. And it was like, well, you know, we're only like an hour and a half from the Pyrenees. It does get cold up there, so everyone's, in t-shirts and shorts, and it's cold up in Barcelona and stuff. But yeah, we started that tour and had 2 days off before the first Barcelona show, which and obviously me living there, I was the tour guide, and it's pretty fair to say it went off the rails. Like,
do you feel under pressure to like give them a good time, show them the best places in Barcelona?
No, we lost each other within about an hour. Yeah. I
Like
just sent everyone their own ways, you know.
What's that little area with it's like quite small alleyways or streets, lots of boss little cocktail bars? I sent you there.
That's almost everywhere, but probably like the Gothic Quarter or something
Gothic
like
Quarter,
that.
yeah,
Or Elborn, yeah.
No, Elborn, that was
Elborn.
Boss round there, mate.
It's fantastic. That's right next to the Gothic Quarter, yeah. But no, it's an amazing place to live. But yeah, in regard to starting the tour there, I was like, oh no, we've got 2 days off before the tour, and in itself, living there, and I've got a lot of friends there and stuff like that, and the venue was so small, and the Choral had played the Razzmatazz there, which is the big venue there a couple of times, and
Stereophonics are there next year, aren't they?
Right. I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of the Stereophonics, but there we go. But for some reason we got put. I mean, it was fantastic. It was in Plaza Real, which is the big main square, just off La Rambla, place called Siddicar. But it's a 200 cap venue. And there was like thousands of people trying to get tickets, and it was chaos. So there's a lot of people who couldn't get in and stuff, which kind of like brought a good edge to it. But from there onto Zaragoza and then Leon, which is a gig that we don't talk about. We don't talk about Leon, and we'll leave it there, and then back down to Madrid, which was great. But yeah, in regard to starting a tour, I'd never do it in a hometown if you're living abroad. I'd say, I don't know.
Was that a bit of a mad one for you?
Which
starting
all of it?
The tour in
I was made
being
up.
the guy who's gone to Barcelona and starting the tour there.
Yeah. Because there was rumours of it, and I didn't know if it was going to happen. I was going, can we definitely do Barcelona? Where are we going to go? And it was exciting to talk about Leon as well. Places that you've never really been to, and I've been to Zaragoza once, and Madrid obviously is the capital. We've been there, but to start the tour in Barcelona was pretty special. The gig was amazing. And it's one of them. I don't remember the gig at all. Not due from overindulgence or anything like that, but it's just I don't really remember any gig. Do you know what I mean? You kind of come off and I don't know, that first kind of like initial kind of like 20, 30 seconds, it's usually, I don't know, I'm usually first off stage, I'm just on percussion there, and it's usually Jay behind me, and it's just like very quickly, it's just like boss gig that, or if the crowd was flat, and then from there, it's always just kind of like a little bit of a blur, And I think we always play really, really well. Do you know what I mean? I don't think the Choral play a bad gig at all, and I think that's like real kind of like strong point of the Choral. But in regards to what is a good or a bad gig, I think it's just down to a crowd, and kind of like how they react to stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I go to a gig, this is one of the kind of things I say. If I go to a gig, I'm not going wild. Are you going wild at a gig?
Not really.
You know what I mean? 15 years ago.
Yeah.
15 years ago, I might have been at the front, or I might have been jumping in a mosh pit or something like that. Now I'm just at the back with a beer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And happily clapping. So, and then you come out and then you see the feedback online and stuff, and then you're like, all right, it was great. If you didn't think it was a great gig, when you see the feedback, it seems good.
We always say, don't we? Because like when we were speaking to Johnny Lacey and about them going on tour and going on stage every night, and the amount of bevying that you do with bongos, bingo, and then obviously if you're performing in a band,
right?
It's like there's that relationship between performing and alcohol, and then the audience and alcohol.
Yeah.
And you're asking Jack about like, do you still have a bevy on stage together?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you reconcile it all with making it fun and work?
Sure.
But also making it like sustainable? Because if you went heavy every night of a tour,
oh no, you can't do that. No, I mean it's definitely a work. I mean, I've been in the Choral now for only what's it nearly? Well, it's 5 years now. Yeah, it's 5 years. But the band's been together for 20 years, and it's important that it is a job to agree, and you can let your hair down and stuff like that. But absolutely, it's a job. Yeah,
like any job, you sort of pick and choose your times to.
Of course you can. Yeah. Of course you can. Yeah. If you get your itinerary through, if you get your schedule through, and it's it's 6 in a row. you know, you're thinking six in a row ahead. You can't just go mad in Newcastle on the first night.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When there's a lot of travelling involved, there's a lot of interviews involved with a lot of the guys and stuff
true.
like that. So you've got to think about that, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of early starts, and you know, when you're in a van together, we don't do tour buses anymore.
Oh, really?
Tour buses don't. No.
You don't kip on the bus and just rock up.
No. I think it's like, you know, I think everyone's kind of got to the age where it's just like, if we did buses, I don't know if someone would kill each other, but you know, everyone's kind of at the age now where it's just like, let's just hotel it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just travel around in
Yeah.
a van. But yeah, I think that's important at this particular stage.
But you've been in bands before the Corals, right? You're in
Yeah.
the Hot Melts, and then obviously touring with other musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
So you've seen different aspects of touring life and even different musical styles, because like Ollie Mayers and the Coral
Sure.
probably haven't got a lot in common, have they, really?
No, yeah, no, it is funny, and I've had to speak about that recently in an interview, but yeah, I suppose I've kind of done every kind of stage of it, if you will, you know, rather than, you know, other than like the mega
Yeah,
kind
like
of
you
style.
two kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, but I mean, like, very lucky in regards to, like, you know, I don't take anything for granted at all. You know, I feel very lucky in regards to getting to do what I do, whether that means, you know, all those years back, miming on an X Factor show, if you will.
I was going to ask about that because
Where?
a real like sort of band guy, you know, a guy who loves, you know, you're a percussionist. What's it like in terms of integrity then, being asked to mime? Is it like you sitting there thinking, really don't want to do that, but it's a job, I'll do it. I've been asked to, I'm a man of my word.
Sound, yeah, but I mean, I was very young when I did that, you know.
Okay.
You know, I'd left school and the Hot Melts, which is a band I seem to forget about, really, which is, you know, when I left school, I was very lucky enough just to kind of leave school and get a record deal, and that was the kind
The
of band
real
that kind
buzz
of,
band
like,
at the
set me up.
time, weren't they?
Yeah, and you know, the band kind of did well to a degree, but you know, it was just kind of when that finished, it's kind of panic stations for me.
Yeah.
And I kind of finished that band. You know, it was me that left, and I don't know whether I left maybe like a little bit premature. I don't know. We spent a lot of time, you know, we were in Chicago for 3 hours, 3 months making this album.
It's a quick album.
It's a quick album in 3 hours. Yeah, we're in the studio some days for 3 hours, but you know, and it's something I am proud of. Obviously, because it was the first thing kind of I ever did, you know.
Yeah.
But kind of when I finished that, you know, there was kind of like all this kind of like panic in regards to, like, you know, management and the band themselves going, you know, you can't leave this early on. The album only came out last week, and I was just like, look, we're going up to Aberdeen here and we're playing in front of no one. Do you know what I mean? We kind of got given a heads up by our management and stuff, and it sounds bizarre this, but you know, Radio 1 do control a lot of what goes on. Do you know what I mean? So we were getting told, you know, we're listening to the radio, for example, and let's say, you know, the Pigeon Detectives, Kaiser Chiefs, all these bands, the Enemy, you know, the Zootons, all these bands are on the radio. And then we're getting told by our A&R and our management that, look, Radio 1 aren't going to support bands now for at least the next 12 months. And we're going, what do you mean? What's that on about? No, they're going to switch. There's a new girl coming in called Ellie Golding. There's a girl coming in called Marina and the Diamonds. They're coming in and they're going to champion female artists.
So it's strategic.
Which is great,
Yeah.
which is great. Do you know what I mean? I've got no problem in that. But it was like, oh, shit. Right, okay, so this isn't going to get supported. And I can't tell you how important it is. Not so sure anymore in regards to that with Radio 1, but at that particular stage, if they weren't championing you and they weren't spoon feeding their listeners into what music they liked, you know, and playing the same song, you know, 4 or 5 times a day, and people go, okay, I love this band. Even though they don't love that band, they're going, oh, this is getting played. You know, this is a band I should get into.
Yeah.
So we got told that, and it was very, very true.
Yeah,
And it's very, very true. And it just kind of like, after all this kind of, we had this huge hype. And and it just dropped. And I just thought, right, okay, I need to get out and then I need to go and try something else here. Because I'm, you know, in my head, I'm just like, right, I'm a musician. And I thought that was going to go great.
Yeah.
I need to try something else. So then when you were saying in regards to kind of like the pop thing and kind of like, how does that work? I'm still kind of, because Hot Melts was a pop band, really. Do you know what I mean? And it's
an indie pop band, weren't they?
It was kind of an indie pop band, yeah. A lot more than like we wanted it to be. Kind of like, maybe again, it was a bad idea to go to. Basically, we got told, you're not going to America to record this album. Don't go to America to record the album. We'll stay in the UK. We've got all these producers down in London. Let's try and keep it very, UK, authentic and stuff like that. And, you know, we were very young and we were like, all right, cool, we're not making an album. Just like that, do you know what I mean? And all the management like, shit, okay. It's like, okay, we found a couple of producers here in America, let's go there. And, you know, I love the guy to bits, Mark McCluskey, who made the album. Not spoke for a long time, but he definitely kind of like glorified it. And, you know, there's a lot of kind of like sprinkle and sparkle that got put on it where it's like, you know, it should have been a bit more kind of like Weezer or something like that. And it ended up kind of being a little bit more American pop punk.
Like overproduced almost.
Massively overproduced, yeah. Still think it's a good album. I think the songs are fantastic. I think Will's a great songwriter, but massively overproduced, and it's not the album that it should have been.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we'll go back to that. So when I came out of that, I had a lot of friends working in the session industry down in London, and it was just a case of me just kind of like begging for gigs, just going, is there anything? Okay, there's an audition here. I'm skint. No money whatsoever at all. You know, my mum was amazing, and she was just like, you know, I get a call off a guy called Steve Barney, who fantastic drummer. He does like the Sugar Babes and stuff like that, and a lot Anastasia, a lot of different bands. And you know, he'd call me at like 7 o'clock at night, like, look, I've just found out there's an audition tomorrow down in Fulham for Pixie Lott or something like that. You know, like a pop act. Yeah. And I'm just going, okay, I'm out. I'm going, Mum, can you please help me like get a ticket? You know. My mum doesn't have a lot of money, but it's, you know, there's £80, get down there, try and do the audition. I was kind of doing that 2 or 3 times a week. And, you know, and that was a lot to just kind of go, you know, all the way down there on the train. I don't even know if like how good phones were working and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? But it's very stressful. I'm just by myself, carrying my snare, I'm carrying my cymbals, I'm carrying a bag, you know, it's like going through the tube. Quite stressful, really, like when I think about it, kind of looking back on it. I would never get the gig because it would be, okay, so where are you from? And I'd hear it in the accents and I'd be like, well, I'm from Liverpool, which I'm not, I'm from the world, but it's very...
Same thing to them, really.
Yeah, same thing to them. And it's just like, I'm afraid, no, we need someone local. And I was just like, well, you know, how did I do? Well, you know, what was the feedback? Did I play well? And they're just like, yeah, you'd have got the gig if you lived here. And I was like, fucking hell, and that kept happening. And I was just like, right, okay. So then I got one with Diana Vickers, who was off the X Factor, and went down, nailed the audition, had the most kind of bizarre Hugh Grant voice on, as I most possibly could. It's like, hello, very, very nice to meet you. I don't know, is that Hugh Grant? I don't know, but you know, I was not going down there as a Scouser, if you will, or someone from the Wirral, and where you're from, and I just said Fulham, and I got the gig.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got the gig, and then from then it was just, you know, I was travelling down from London, you know, a couple of times a week for rehearsals, and I was just like, I'm coming down from Liverpool every morning for this.
That's nuts.
And the respect I kind of got from that, which is weird, do you know what I mean? It was just like, look, it takes you longer to get from South London to North London. Most of the time, do you know what I mean? They're always late for rehearsals, and I'm there, and I've come from Birkenhead Park to Liverpool Lime Street, down, cymbal, snare in hand, and all that, and I was there. So,
is that what was the barrier? Is they wanted you local, so you were available short notice, or was it more of a
snobbery thing?
No, I don't think it's a snobbery thing. Or I definitely don't want. I would not like to think it was a snobbery thing. I think it was more just a case of, okay, look, if the rest of the band is based in London,
right?
Let's all be here.
So a bit of kidology from you, giving them the impression that you were from there anyway. It was just like, no obstacle to it.
Yeah. Funny that, isn't it?
It is. It's bizarre, isn't it, that you should have to jump through that hoop to get the gig, like. But
absolutely, but it worked. But yeah, so then a lot of miming, a lot of playing on like mesh heads and stuff like that. And like at the time, you know, I was going, this is boss, this is great. And, you know, we were doing this tour with Ollie Murs and stuff like that, and it's all these huge shows. And I was going, okay, you know, my background's The Who and Oasis and, you know, Beach Boys and stuff like that. And I'm going, I'm doing this pop thing. But, you know, I was going, like, okay, I've got a gig here and work. And I didn't sing and shout about it. And I've never really talked about it up until quite recently in a couple of interviews, you know what I mean? But I'm kind of proud in regards to, like, I dived out there and tried to do something. But again, always in that background, I was kind of going, this isn't me. Do you know what I mean? But it was just like, okay, look, we've got some work here. Yeah. And in regards to kind of like progressing as a drummer, you don't progress doing that. You know, you don't progress as a drummer miming. Do you know what I mean? I would never recommend it to anyone, but I did it at the time.
Is it like a sub skill in itself, though?
Miming,
making it look as if you're properly drumming.
Yeah, it is a skill, to be fair.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a skill, but you know, again, you don't half take the piss with it as well. Like I had a friend, Chris, who was in the band with it as well, and he was in the Hot Melts with me.
Yeah.
I managed to draft him into it. But no, you're miming, and it was like, 40,000 people, these huge festivals, and he's just like turning around at me, and it's a guitar solo, and he's just standing there looking at me, not even playing, and I'm just like this, just with one hand, and it's meant to be, 16th, and I'm just going like that on the floor, Tom, and he's just going, we are taking the piss here, It is what it is. It is what it is. So then, and then from then, excuse me, I managed to, where did I go after that? I can't remember when after that. I definitely got out the pop thing. I think I was working Tim and Paul Speed, who own Elevator Studios in Camp and Furnace. I got a call off them at one point, and they said Ian Brody's looking for a drummer from the Lightning Seeds, and I was like, okay. I was like, shit, this. I'm back in the game here. This is something I really, I've respected Ian and the Lightning Seeds. My dad used to play them when I was growing up and stuff like that, and I thought, wow, okay, so we met in Elevator Studios just off Dale Street. In the first conversation, he said, oh, you are a Blue, aren't you? And I was just like, yeah, I'm a Blue, actually, yeah. And she's like, well, let's see if we can work around that. The following day, he invited me up to his studio, and he was just like, let's just see if you can play drums. He'd never seen me play drums. And, so luckily, I was, for 24 hours, I was just playing all the tunes, and I was just like, shit. And the one that I really wanted him to play is a song called Sense by Lightning Seeds, and it's, it's a really great drum beat, and he was just like, Ian just went, do you know Sense? Let's just try that. And I went, fuck that. Wow, out of all the tunes, do you know what I mean?
Fanboy.
Yeah, fanboy, yeah.
He could have picked an obscure one.
He could have picked anything, could have picked anything. Lucky was that. And then, and we got the gig, and then I had just like, a couple of amazing years with Ian. A couple of really, really amazing years with Ian, and did some great shows. I was on tour with Blondie doing like Forestry Commission tour and stuff like that. And I've just caught up with them recently when they did the Jollification show at the Philharmonic, which was just incredible,
Did you drum on that show?
No, there's a great drummer called Jim Sharrock who's with them now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, who's who's from a multi-talented family. Chris Sharrock is his uncle who plays with Noel Gallagher. He's done Oasis. Right. He's done bits like that. So Jim's on that gig, and then after that was when I kind of moved on to Bill Ryder Jones.
Finally got to work with another Blue.
Yeah, and I really, really respect Bill, massively, still do. And
did you know him? Did you just know each other growing up? Because he's from over the water as well, isn't he?
I kind of just knew him from we were from the kind of same area, and he knew that he was in the choral, and I was a massive choral fan before. Yeah,
likewise.
Yeah, being asked to be in the choral, and when Bill had left the choral, we were kind of having drinks and stuff like that in the same bar, and I kind of remember I kept saying, "Come on. Let's get in the studio and let's do something." Because I knew he was writing, and I knew he was going to do his own solo thing, and he's just like, no, I don't want you. So right, fucking hell, okay. The next day, see him in the bar on the pint. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's give it a go. It's like, no. Eventually, it was like, right, tomorrow, let's get in the studio and let's try something. And then from pretty much there, and the rest was history. And I spent a good 4 years with Bill. Kind of touring the world, which is amazing.
So you drummed on all his albums up until you joined the choral?
I did a few bits. He had a few other guys coming in and stuff like that. I think Sean Payne from the Zootons did a few bits, but A Bad Wind, Blows in My Heart, heavily featured in that, and just kind of like being around him writing that album was kind of like really special, and
talented, isn't he?
Yeah, Bill's incredibly so talented. Probably the best guitarist I've ever or will ever kind of play with, Yeah, so that was a great moment. Apart from when we shot a video on West Kirby Beach, and I can't remember what song it is. Maybe it was A Bad Wind. I can't remember. And he had this piano, and he wanted to do the video with this piano. It was fair enough, but it was just me, Bill, and the guys who were shooting the video. And this piano weighed a fucking ton, and we were fucking dragging it. We were trying to get it. It was like, we need to get it further and further out on the beach, for this particular shot. We were carrying this piano around for 2 days shooting this video, and then as soon as this video had finished, he was like, I'm going to gut the piano and just have it. It's like a prop. I was like, oh, you've got to be joking, after carrying it around for 2 days. Yeah, but no, they were really, really great times, and his new album's fantastic, and I'm sure he's going to be doing another one very soon,
So what about you then? You obviously, football's in the background there, but I seen Craig and I were talking about the piece that you did recently with The Guardian.
Yeah.
Has football always been in the background then?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of always grew up with football. I never got a game of football. I always got told I was too small. I mean, I like to think I was a decent player. Do you know what I mean? But now the coach's kid always got on before me.
Yeah.
I'd never get a game. But yeah, I kind of grew up with that. And then, being an Everton fan, I tried to go to the games as much as possible. And I still do now, kind of when I'm back here. But yeah, in regards to what we're talking about, the coaching side of things.
Yeah, like at what point did it become, you're into football, obviously you're a big blue. At what point did it become actually, I want to get into this seriously?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, we were at a choral gig, must have been 4 or 5 years ago, and excuse me, and I think it was Liam Power, who's a singer of a band called By the Sea, and he was supporting the choral, and he said, "You see that snowy head fella there at the back of the room?" He said, "That's that Bryn Law off Sky Sports. Don't know if you know him." And you see him like popping up on Sky Sports in the news, and I was just like, "It's no, what's he doing here?" He said, "No, it's him. He comes here. He's here to see us in the choral." So I said to someone, I said, "Look, can you go and escort me out, and can you introduce me to him and stuff like that?" So we met. I think the first thing I said, he recognised me obviously, and I recognised him, and I was like, "You don't follow me on Twitter?" I was like, "I've been following you for years on Twitter." Straight away, I was like, bang. That's kind of how we started the conversation. And naturally, we're talking about music. He kind of runs a music promotion company in Leeds as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's heavily affiliated in music. So we were talking music, and then I knew he was affiliated with the FAW at some point, the Football Association of Wales. And I said, at some point, I really want to do my coaching badges. And he was like, "Wow." Do you know what I mean? And he's like, "Wow." He's just like, "Well, whenever you're ready, I'm not just following you on Twitter, where's my number?" Do you know what I mean? And he was just like, "Whenever you're ready, give me a shout." And I was like, "All right, great." And I can't remember how long it was afterwards. Maybe it was like a year. Year afterwards, I saw like a window of opportunity, and I just dropped him a text. I said, "Look, I'm ready to do like my badges. I don't know if you can help me and point me in the right direction in regards." So I get a call off him straight away, and within about 5 minutes, I've got Carl Darlington, who's the head coach of Wrexham, on the phone. A guy called Gaz Owen, who's headed like the UEFA B licence at the FAW, and all this kind of just came in and just like, we'd love to support you in regards to that. And the FAW are amazing. I mean, it's such a great pathway to go. And people kind of say, "Why did you choose the Welsh FA rather than the English FA, or you could even say the Scottish or the Irish?" But when you're kind of looking at kind of their pathway and their education, and you look at the people who've done it. Mikel Arteta, Thierry Henry, Essien, Peter Crouch, Tim Cahill's currently doing it. Yeah. These guys are picking this association for a reason here. Do you know what I mean? So when I got put onto the C licence, and kind of just the assistance you get and the guidance you get off them, it's extremely personal. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to throw any other associations under the bus, but I've heard a lot of bad things about kind of how you get treated in other things, where this seems like very kind of like family oriented. There's not 300 people in a classroom. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Which does happen a lot. So it's very kind of like focused on you, and it's very personal. And if I need to call my mentor, Mark Roberts, he answers the phone straight away if I'm just like, "Help!" Do you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah. So what is it that draws you to it though? Like, because obviously there's being a football fan.
Yeah.
And then there's doing what you're doing now, which is like delivering sessions and all that. And and I suppose seeing a completely different side to the game where you're probably not able to even dare to say enjoy it as a fan anymore. You just sort of
you can't,
because you're analytical.
You can't. I've never really enjoyed watching football as a fan, being an Everton fan anyway.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's all be honest in regards to that.
Hopefully that's changing.
I don't know. I think hopefully that'll change when we build the new stadium out of gold. But especially with the B licence, kind of like when we walked in, they were just like, it's a completely different level from doing the C licence, and it's kind of a fundamental kind of qualification that you need now to work in an academy based kind of setup. Yeah. But yeah, when I first walked into the classroom in regards to that, just went, look, straight off the bat, they went, "Look, really, really sorry in regards to this, but you're never going to watch football in the same way again." And I honestly, I was like, shit, I'm going to leave. I was like, I am going to leave. I was thinking, do I just get off now? Just, I've paid my fee. I just thought, sorry, I'm not into this. And then it's just become more and more interesting. But again, you just can't watch football the same way again. And what do I want out of it, and why did I get into it? I just think when I was younger, excuse me again, I did a lot of drum lessons and kind of just like seeing kind of like people grow. Yeah, I get like a big like reward out of that. Do you know what I mean? When you're teaching someone something and then you see them progress, I don't know, I just kind of seem to be like that, you know, that's fantastic. And being a football fan and kind of matching that in regards to this, and it is something, you know, I'm really interested in, and I'm as happy being on a training field now as I am kind of being on stage, you know. It's kind of funny how it's switching, but I'm certainly very much football driven, I think, at the minute. You know, I'd love to balance the both if I can. I'm currently very lucky that I get to balance the both.
Yeah.
But I guess at some stage, some decision might have to happen in regard to that. I don't know whether that'll be my decision or that'll be someone else's decision that makes that, you know. But I'm very lucky to kind of be in the position that I'm in at the minute. Yeah. Couple of months off, hopefully, if I pass this B license, then that'll be decent, and then things will move on. Yeah. I've got to pass. I said to Sid when we did this Guardian interview. Said this interview's come out and I mightn't even pass it. This is going to be embarrassing.
Yeah, no pressure.
I mean? No pressure at all. Yeah, but I don't know. But it's it's a lot of hard work. But you know, again, it's extremely satisfying. It's just if I can inspire one person to want to do that, you know. I've read like a lot of comments since this particular piece come out, and people were just like, "Wow, this is," you know.
Yeah.
Because I kept it very much on the down low. Because you know, not embarrassed in regards to it. But like, you know, I did get, you know, there's like a couple of newspapers and publications that came forward just going, "Can we do a piece on this?" And I was like, kind of taken aback, but I was just like, no, I'm a bit embarrassed in regards to this, you know. And then eventually when I've kind of grew up with Sid's writing and stuff like that, and, you know, I think he's a fantastic writer. And I've read a lot of his books on Spanish politics and Spanish football, and, you know, I'm very much, since moving over to Barcelona, affiliated with Spanish football, kind of more so than football here, if you will. And then, you know, when he said, "I'd love to do something on this," I was like, "All right, you can, yeah." You know what I mean? I was like, "Yeah, please." So then, I don't know how we managed to make it happen, to be fair, but, you know, very grateful that we were out having dinner, and it was the first time I met him. It must have been like 8 months ago, and I'm a very good friend of mine now, but he was like, "Right, I want to watch a gig, and then the following day, I want to see you do a session." And I was thinking, okay, now. I was just like, so we do a gig, we have a few bevies, and I've got to get up and do a session. In this particular gig, we were playing the Liverpool Arena, and then we were doing an after show after it that me and Nick from the band were DJing, which I knew was wrapping up about 4 a.m. And I knew I had to be at Colliers Park and Wrexham for 8. Oof. Yeah,
and be switched and be on form.
You weren't bevying that night then.
We were bevying that night. We certainly were. It was a bit of a celebration, you know. We'd never done the arena and stuff like that. And Sid was there, and Sid was just like, you know, "I don't want to get in the way, you know, but I want to cover everything. I want to be you." And I was going, "You don't have to go on the after show." I was just like, "You just go and get your head down." You know, he flew in from Madrid. I was like, no, I want to come out. So he ends up DJing with us in a bizarre turn of events. It was incredible. So then it's 4:00. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, we need to leave. And then for some reason, we'd all had a couple of drinks. We just start walking towards the Mersey. And it's 4 a.m. here. You start walking towards the Mersey. And Nick from the band, he's got his massive pile of CDs with him. And we didn't use any of them. We just ended up just plugging in and just like, you know, we cheated it. Yeah, sorry about that to the people who did come. We just cheated it. And he's like, I never, ever want to DJ again. And I was just like, "What do you mean?" He's just like, I hate DJ. And I was just like, "I'll do it." And he was just like, "Well, you just do it then." So I never want to DJ again. The CD goes flying into the Mersey.
His own music. He just starts lashing it.
From he must have had these CDs from
oh no.
forever.
Oh, not his
Forever. The second one goes in. I don't want Greta Thunberg coming on our case here for environmental, but there's music in the Mersey. Let's put it that way. Yeah. The fish are singing, and yeah, the lot.
Surprised he's still using CDs. No wonder he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Well, I know exactly. That might be a part of it. Yeah. So it was kind of a sacrilege. So the sun was coming up, and every CD went in. Apart from Magic and Medicine, I think. And
wow.
Yeah, and we kept it, and it was just like, right, okay. And I was like, "Sid, I'll pick you up from your hotel. Okay, I'll pick you up at 7, and then I'll drive for you to I'll drive to Wrexham."
So this would have been about 5 by now.
Yeah, it's late. Yeah, I don't really know. Then my phone starts ringing, and I'm in bed. Right, and I'm in bed. Sid Lowe. and I see the time, and it's like, what time do we have to be at College Park? We have to be at College Park for 8 o'clock, yeah, and it's like 7:07, and he's like, I'm downstairs, and I'm like, shit, and he's in the lobby. I promised to pick him up, and I was just like, you've just woke me up, and he was like, don't panic, he
Are you in your mum's over the water?
Yeah, I'm in my mum's over the water
Right.
in bed, yeah. Right,
Yeah.
so I've got to be in Wrexham, lined up. The players are arriving at 8:15. Welsh under-15s, Connors Key, and some Wrexham players turning up. Right, and I'm like, woof, on like 2.5 hours sleep. So he wakes me up. I'm like, you're going to have to jump in an Uber from Liverpool to Wrexham here. So he did. So he gets there 30 seconds before me. I get there, and then we smash the session. Then we do an interview in the car on the way home. I drop him off at Birkenhead Central train station. I jump on the tour bus. We go to Leeds and then go to Moscow.
Wow.
It was quite a few days, yeah. Quite a few days,
It's
yeah.
good that he's really dived in with you there, rather than just sort of you telling him, so we'll go up at this time. He's gone, no, actually, I want to go there. I want to see both sides.
Yeah, it's proper journalism.
Yeah,
isn't it?
proper journalism.
Yeah, no,
old fashioned like Rolling Stone
Yeah,
journalism.
yeah. And for me, he's the best. And he wants to really be there and cover it. Yeah, and I guess kind of like the whole kind of like DJ side of it and the sacrilege down at the Mersey kind of like made the piece as well. Although I think they did edit the CDs and the Mersey bit out.
He said something about the sun coming up over the Mersey.
Yeah, he didn't mention the CDs.
No, the sun came up over the Mersey.
Maybe the Guardian, sort of Greta link. They were just thinking that.
great
like that.
point.
Yeah.
It says a lot about you though, as a person, that like you, all the reasons you just discussed about wanting to do coaching or become a manager, wherever it ends up,
Yeah.
is about wanting to see other people go on a journey. It's not like I want to be a manager, I want to achieve this, this, and this.
Yeah, no, it's not really about me, no.
I was going to ask you that though. So, has it sown the seed of ambition? Like, are you now thinking, I would like to be a manager? Because that's the natural progression, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is serious. Like,
Yeah, I get
I'm-
that. Like, you're not just, it's not a hobby.
Yeah, no, it's not a hobby, no.
So you're going to, hopefully you pass. Are you going to do UEFA A?
Yeah, I'll be going for my way. Yeah, they say to sit on your B for a year.
Is that what they say? Right,
That's
okay.
what they say, and just kind of sit and don't dive straight into it. I'm very lucky to be working with Espanyol out in the Liga, so
Yeah.
I'm coaching there at the minute.
With the academy?
It's more of like an Escola based thing. I'm back in Barcelona next week, and I've got a few meetings with them, hopefully in regards to an academy based thing. Yeah, but obviously,
Wow.
yeah, that UEFA B needs to be passed.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
regards
Yeah.
to that, but
Yeah.
so we're having some discussions about that. But yeah, no, it's very, it's not really about me. I mean, I love it, and without blowing smoke up my head, yeah, I think I'm good at it. Do you know what I mean? And and I wouldn't, I wouldn't want to, you see some kind of, you see some coaches coaching kids, and you see it like if I'm walking a dog down at Birkenhead Park and you're seeing what's going on here, and you're just thinking, wow, this is so detrimental to this kind of kids progression, and there's a lot of bad coaches out there, so I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Do you know what I mean? And as much as I know the guys at the FAW, I'm like, look, I don't want to pass unless don't pass me because I'll put you on the guest list for Jerry Cinnamon. Don't pass me because because I'm in a band. If I fail, that's fine. Pep Guardiola failed his B license 4 times, and it's and he'll happily chat about it. And to fail is to progress.
Absolutely, because you learn more.
You learn a lot more, yeah. But I really can't be arsed doing this again. So I do want to pass this time. It's a lot of paperwork.
There's obviously football's like 24/7. You know more than anyone else in terms of like the analysis.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of emphasis now on like style, philosophy, and all that. Have you developed that already, or are you learning it now? And do the guys who are Mark Roberts and that?
Yeah.
Do they push a certain style?
They push it the Welsh way.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, and it's without a shadow of a doubt, they have to keep changing their. This is a new UEFA B license from last year's. They have to keep changing what's going on because football is evolving so quickly now. And then there was coaches like Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp and Bielsa again, if you will, who've kind of changed this. So in regards to their format that they're trying to do, but the Welsh way is, it's very difficult to kind of get into. It's when people just go and what's your philosophy, it's all just a massive learning curve for me. The Welsh way is pretty much playing around the side, breaking lines, and playing over the top. So that in regards to the sessions that I'm doing now, that's what I'm doing. In regards to you've got to do 16 sessions throughout this, 16 deliveries.
Yeah.
The Welsh way, really.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And kind of like implement their way for them to see that you're doing that. You know,
see.
and then obviously you can always put your own thing on it and stuff like that, but it's not about being the perfect coach at this stage at all. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of just more how you deliver it, how you manage people, and how you set up your session.
Communicate to the kids as well, yeah.
The homework that you do beforehand, and certainly the reflection after it, which is what we'll always do. You know, once we've been out there on the field, you go back into the classroom and then, you know, you reflect on the session. And any coach I've ever met will say they've never done a perfect session. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we're working with some great coaches who come in. Jimmy Hunter, who's head of like Stoke Academy, he came in and, you know, he did a session and then comes back and he sit down and then you say to him, okay, well, you know, anything that you felt today? And he'll be like, absolutely, I should have done that better, I should have done that. You know, so there's no kind of ego in regards to that, which I kind of find like really refreshing. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of industries where there is, and they kind of say every coach is a thief, which is true. And I kind of find, you know, I can call a coach and just be like, give me an idea in regard to this particular session, and everyone's like really open. You know, I'll get calls going, what did you do in regards to this? And I'll be like, well, I tried this. You know, so in regards to that, the environment is actually really nice. Whereas like I thought it was going to be dog eat dog. And it's just like, I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to be better than you. This is about me. But everyone's incredibly supportive. You know, you're out there on the field. When am I back there next? Week Sunday. I think in 2 weeks Sunday. And you're out on the field from 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, watching everyone do their delivery. At this time of the year, it's fucking freezing out in Wrexham. Do you know what I mean? But it's just all about being there and everyone supporting each other. And players will get drafted in. But again, you know, if there's a couple of players short, you can join in with sessions and that, and everyone's kind of just very supportive. And I think that you got to thank the FAW for that, really. Do you know what I mean? And you seem to have this environment that's incredibly kind of like welcoming, you know.
Did you? Because in terms of you saying before, like Jack's own strength of character, you could have been a bit apprehensive about. I'd imagine a lot of the people doing UEFA B are ex-players or they've worked at football clubs that already proper football men, and you could have been like,
as a drummer.
They're like, who's this fucking musician who's coming to do, you know, thinks he wants to play playing football type thing.
Yeah.
But you've gone there and obviously you've fitted in and you've proved yourself probably to a higher standard than some of them had to.
Yeah, I'd like to think so, yeah. I mean, I definitely had that anxiety.
It's natural, isn't it?
Kind of going into it, I was thinking, right, okay, so there he is, he's sitting over there. I'm not going to name names, but it's like, you know, it is ex-pros kind of sitting there and there's me with me. You know, me long hair, just football players with long hair, isn't there? But, you know, I was kind of just like, you know, shit, am I out of my depth here? But, you know, kind of feel like, you know, I've worked really hard in regards to getting to this particular stage, if you will. And, you know, again, as I said before, it's serious. And if I'm going to take it seriously, I've got to work fucking hard.
Not a doubt. But what I've sort of found in like football journalism is that, and not all ex-players or players like this, but a lot, there's this sort of, if you try and speak to them about football, there's up to a point they'll go, yeah, but what do you know? You haven't played it.
Yeah.
You haven't played the game.
Yeah.
And you can understand what they're saying. If you've not played the game
at Twitter here.
Professional level, Twitter's a whole other thing. Twitter, but up to a certain point, if you haven't played it at a professional level, you can't really... You're still entitled to your opinion.
Of course you are.
But a lot of them will just be like, you just can't comment.
But then you Jose Mourinho.
Exactly, there's always an exception to the rule. Arsene Wenger didn't have an exceptional playing career.
No.
Sorry.
But Dave, what I mean is...
Mario Sarri was a banker, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't some of the issues that Sarri had to Chelsea was around that though, Brad?
But not being a long-standing football man.
Yeah.
But it's one of them as well.
Rodgers is the same though, isn't he? Brendan Rodgers is the same, and he's flying.
Yeah. I'm happy to say he's a great coach now.
Yeah.
Now that he's not a Liverpool coach. No, he is actually a fantastic coach. Yeah. No, but it's one of them, and you know, when I speak to my players and stuff like that, and you know, whether that's you know at Espanyol in Barcelona or the kids that they draft in on the UEFA B when we're doing our contact sessions and stuff like that, you know, they're the player, they're an athlete, they're an elite player.
Yeah. But
it's important. I'm like, right, you've got to listen to me in regard to this because I've planned a particular session here. Okay, you're a lot fitter than I am. You're a lot fitter. You know, you're the football player. You're the football player because you played football, but you're at this particular position because you've been coached to get to this particular position. So it's important that you listen in regard to that because we're doing the education in the classroom. Do you know what I mean? I think that's important. And I haven't met a player yet that that would disagree with that, you know. But I'm sure there'll be a few.
I've just thought, are you doing this in Spanish or Catalan? Or
Which?
Are you coaching in English or Spanish?
And I coach in Spanish, yeah.
So you're fluent in Spanish?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Some people make you sick, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So we do it in Spanish at Espanol. And the one thing as well, Mark, my mentor, he said to me, he was just like, you know, what's the one thing that you really want to kind of like progress in? I went, to fucking learn how to coach in English. That sounds mad, doesn't it? Yeah. Because all I've ever done is coach in Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, I've nailed it now, but it's just like I kind of come back and I'm not on the training field, just going. You know, I'll be sitting there like, "Benga about escuchar," and I'm like, "Whoa, hang on a minute." They're Welsh, do you know what I mean? English Welsh lads, and I'm like, "Shit, right, okay, stop." Which comes out, and you know, they love it. They love it. I find it quite funny, but yeah, you've got to coach at Espanol in Spanish. Yeah, not Catalan. Luckily,
not Espanol. No.
Well, no, it's got nothing to do with that. But it's just my Catalan is it should be a lot better. It should be a lot better. But you know, when you move to a country, I think it's important that you have to like really delve into their culture, and it was important for me to learn the language. I never got to learn the language at school.
Yeah.
So kind of when I moved,
so you didn't even have like a GCSE basis of it, like?
No. Well, they made me do French, and I wasn't a bad kid at school. I was just a little brat. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was just like, I'm not doing French, and they're like, you have to do French. Eventually, they kicked me out of French.
Just weren't interested.
I just wasn't interested. I really wanted to do Spanish. I don't know for what reason. I just think it's a very nice language, and they wouldn't swap me or anything like that. So they kicked me out of school. I had to go to Birkenhead, and every Wednesday I was bricklaying.
So at the same time as learning the drums as well, or was that?
Yeah. They were just like, "You're such a bad kid. You're getting kicked out of doing a language and a technology. You're going to end up doing bricklaying down at Hamilton Square." So I've got a distinction in that, so I can build you a barbecue if you want. But
build a barbecue while doing a coaching session and speaking Spanish. I mean, come on.
Whilst playing drums.
We may as well go home here, mate.
I know. Do
you want to do podcasting as well?
I don't think I've got anything else. Well, yeah, and then it's the photography side of things as well.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah, very lucky in regards to that. I mean, I don't see myself as like a photographer at all.
You took some nice pictures last year. There's that post on Insta, on your Insta.
Thank you, yeah.
Some really nice pictures.
Thanks a lot, yeah. But I just find myself, I'm very lucky to be in positions where people aren't, I guess, to a degree, you know, and I kind of see an eye for something that I'm like, that's a little bit unusual, you know, I'll have a go with that. And
did you get Leighton into it, or did he get you into it? Or was it just mutual?
No, Leighton just got into it himself. Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's good, isn't he? Yeah.
So's Gin, though.
Gin's pictures are brilliant.
Gin's brilliant.
Yeah.
The owner of Rope and Twine.
Oh, okay, right, okay, yeah. We met once or twice. Yeah. No, I think Leighton just picked up cameras, and then we have the odd discussion about it actually. But no, he's very good, and especially like his portraits.
Technically, it's a skill. Again, it's a massive skill, isn't it?
Yeah. So I guess it is a skill, isn't it? Yeah. But for me, I just kind of find myself in positions, and you know, I'm very lucky. I
suppose you go to
as much as I do bits with Espanol. I've got friends in Barcelona who affiliated with Barcelona, and I get invited down to the training ground. I do like a lot of kind of, when they do the interviews, I take a lot of photos of the players, which you find, down at La Masia, it's just like, wow, I mean, taking photos. This is all wow. This is all a little bizarre, yeah. And then there was this one particular day, and I think I'd only just really moved to Barcelona. I was walking around, I just had a camera around my chest, kind of Australian one, sure, kind of Australian the other. Just all these helicopters going around, and I was like, what's going on here? And this guy was just like, Carlos Puigdemont, who's the president of Catalan, he's going to declare independence today. And I was like, where? And he was just like there, even like, in Parliament. He was like, the whole of Parliament shut down, this park. I had my camera around my neck, and I'd had a few Australias. And all these news teams were in there, and you could see like, what's his name, Hugh off BBC. I don't know, all these really famous like journalists, and I was just going like, they were miles away, and I was just like, all right, I'm going in. I've got a vest on, canned up with Australias, and I've got a camera, and I'm just walking around, just trying to get to know the city. And the first armed guards, and I'm like, this is funny, this. And I was just like, I've been sent from Liverpool, from the Liverpool Echo. Been sent from Liverpool Echo, and he's just like, and he couldn't speak a word of English, this fella. And I just like open up an email. It just happens to be an email of a load of Coral dates, and I'm just like that, just showing him, just like Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Manchester, like, and he's just going, he's just like, no. He's just like, Ringer, he's like, go. Do you know what I mean?
As in, just go through or go away.
No, he was just like, yeah. He was like, puta. He was like, fuck. Right. And I just stood there, and I was just like, look, muy importante. I was just like, I'm here to do my job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Invest with the Strays. Do you know what I mean? He must have been like, who's his clown? He got so pissed off, he just went, go through. And it was this Italian journalist with me, and he actually had like accreditation, and I just waved him off like he couldn't get in, and I waved him off like that as I swanted in, cracked me a can of Australia, and I was like, oh shit, there's another arm got set of guards here. 6 checkpoints, but because I got through the original one,
Yeah.
it was like, there we go, yes, I net that kind of Australia, put that in a bush, in a bin, and I get there, and I'm standing there, and I'm just like, when's he arriving? I'm speaking to all these journalists, and these journalists are looking at me just going, fucking hell, who's he? Who is he? Do you know what I mean? I'm walking around shorts. I had lets on and just like bouncing around, and I'm just like, well, I can't leave again. I was just like, I could do with another beer here. It could be 6 hours, can't leave again. And I'm like, Situela Park in Barcelona.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Right. I had the place to myself. It's never been shut. Never, ever, ever been shut. And I was like, this is insane. So I'm just, it's so busy. Usually it's insane full of tourists. And I'm like,
Is that the one with the zoo is?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
It's stunning, isn't it?
The one you put me on to go to.
Yeah.
But, like the best park I've ever been to.
I know.
Beautiful, isn't it?
I know. And I was just like, this is insane. I'm just even looking at it, just going, there's no one here.
Yeah.
You know, and there's police walking around it and stuff like that. And I'm just going, like press, like photograph it. And it was just like, okay. And I'm just walking around. It's just going, I'm going to just take all this in. I'm going to take all this in. This is absolutely insane. I've only just moved here. And then eventually, I was like, right, I'll have my last kind of Australia. Do that. There's word he's coming. And I'm like, I don't know if you've seen the photos. It went massively viral online. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
I can't believe I can't believe it went. Yeah, I hate the word viral, but it did.
That was proper photojournalism because he's walking out of his
He's insane.
Escalade.
Yeah, and I'm going, that's photojournalism. I'm going, what are you idiots doing? If you use it like professional photographers. So this scrum goes whack. Right. So I'm like that. Bang. So I get the one of them coming out, shaking like the head of the Guardia's hand. Mossos, sorry. Oh, can't get that one mixed up. The Mossos. And then they're all there still photographing that. And it's just an empty, like full empty space here. I'm going, he's going to walk right past me here, 1 foot away, going into the door. And have you seen the photo?
Yeah.
And he's just looking at me, just going, ooh. He's about to go and do the biggest thing in Catalonia, in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years
That's in
before
history,
Franco.
really. Yeah,
in history, yeah. And I just go bang, and the photo's incredible, and it's probably the most favourite photo I've ever taken. That he's literally just like, you chancer, and that's kind of like, I guess what I am in regard to the photography side of things, Just
Did you sell it? Did you sell
What's
a
that?
picture?
No.
You just let it have a life of
Little
its own. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Time magazine were like, come on.
A little bit, yeah. Well, was that Getty? Okay. Yeah, a little bit, and it did well.
Right deals, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, but again, it's just finding yourself in position. If you don't ask, you don't get. I mean, I'm very lucky in regards to the band. I mean, I've shot like a cover for the band and stuff like that, and just kind of being like backstage, and just there's a lot that I don't think I've posted on Instagram now, other than just didn't want to do that 10-year decade thing that everyone's just done. No, but I was just like, right, scrolled through the past couple of years, went, there's a couple of my favourite photos, but there's a lot of photos there that a lot of people haven't seen that are really good. So I think I'm just going to do like a little exhibition in town and just kind of just throw them out and stuff like that, and hopefully we can just get a bit of music.
Ropes and Twines, Ginger, man. He has little exhibitions in there. He had one on about the Berlin Wall, didn't he?
Right.
Before Christmas.
Well, there we go. You can hook that up for me.
There we go. We'll look it up.
Yes. We're all looking after each other then.
Guests working together.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
So, like, you sounds like you just love to go balls deep into something. You've obviously music, photography, coaching, the Spanish language and culture.
I'm knackered, I'm knackered. That's why I couldn't stop drinking that coffee. Yeah. I definitely do too much, like at the same time. But I guess, as you say, if you get your mind, what's the saying? If you get your mind onto something, you just I don't know. I kind of just run with it and just want to, just want to do it. But yeah, at the moment, I don't really see myself as a coach. I don't see myself as a drummer. I don't think I've played drums for 5 years now, just from doing percussion with a choral. Do you know what I mean? I don't see myself as a photographer, but kind of all these things kind of seem to work, and in a bizarre turn of events, people kind of are interested now. I wanted this 10 years ago. You know what I mean? I wanted all this interest 10 years ago. I'm knackered now, and I just want to settle down. Do you know what I mean? But I'm lucky that people seem to want to give a shit about it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So what do you think, like, long term, if you had to say now, you know, carrying on a professional musician, whether it's, you know, still with the choral or being a Premier League manager or a La Liga manager?
Yeah.
Or
I don't know if I ever
or
want to be
maybe
a
just
manager,
being
you know.
professional photographer.
I'd like to be just in the backroom staff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think about it a lot, and it's like the managers get, you know, it's a tough gig, innit?
Yeah.
It's a tough gig.
Yeah, the manager's always the one to blame, isn't he?
Yeah, manager's always the one to blame. Yeah,
But-
yeah. I see myself as. I know that's kind of like quite modern nowadays, isn't it? They just like, it's, you know, first team coach. You know, first team coach. Do you know what I mean? Head coach. Yeah. I don't really like the word manager. I don't know. It kind of like seems like it's, you know, it's a different kind of.
It's quite an English term, isn't it? Because I think in Spain and Italy they are either head coaches and then a director of football.
And less and less.
Entrenadores.
Yes,
in Spanish.
entrenadors.
There you go. There's a little lesson for you. Yeah.
Unless I've just come back from South America, and I've tried to learn a bit of Spanish. Then.
Right.
I'd love to learn. I'm envious of your ability to just not only speak Spanish but actually do a job in the language.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we had that. Me and my wife had that Duolingo, right?
Yeah.
we smashed it for like 2 or 3 months every day because it makes you go on every day, right?
Does.
And I'm not joking.
It goes bing.
Yeah,
You miss
I'm
your
not
lesson. And you're like,
I'm not joking. The only thing that we could remember was manzanas. That was it.
right, okay. Apples.
Apples.
Right.
That was it.
Thank
That
God
was
I
the
got
only
that
thing we
right.
knew.
Was
So
it
like
like useful apart from that?
you're trying to get the, you know, you're in, because in South America, like
Manzanas.
it's not like going to, you know, a Spanish city. No one speaks English. Nobody speaks English.
Yeah.
A little bit in Peru, but in like Colombia and Argentina, none. and yeah, stuff that you would use. Can I order a drink? Blah blah blah. Can I get tickets for this? How long to this? How much? So, but luckily, as you probably did, on a much smaller scale, because nobody spoke English, we were able to pick little things up really, really quickly.
Sure. And
you've got
I
it.
found that, I mean, yeah, but you know, when I first moved over there, it was like, you know, I was buying those, what's it called, like bilingual books. So it's a 1 page is in Spanish, 1 page is in English, and you can reference it like that. But just kind of like immersing yourself and like living in the city and kind of being around people, for me, that was just the case thing. But the struggle is in Barcelona, there's a lot of people who do want to learn English as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So kind of want to use
so
you
I get
to learn
that, yeah.
English.
Yeah.
That's tempting
Yeah.
to just carry on.
I mean, my Spanish is good. Fluent, I don't know. I don't want to use the word fluent. You know, but like in regards to coaching, it's spot on. In regards to working myself around a bar, no problem. Speaking to my ex-girlfriend in Spanish, no problem. Do you know what I mean? Speaking to her family in Spanish, no problem. So I guess, yeah, work around it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think the easiest way, if you want to learn, is you just got to be living there, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? And it's dead important to, you know, it's rude if you're there and you're not doing it. It's a lot, you know. I got a place down in the south of Spain, and it's where there is a lot of English people, and the amount of people who just don't bother learning the language.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
those,
there's
you know
a
those
difference,
type of
isn't there?
people.
Yeah.
The type of people I'm talking about. The ones who retire and go down to the Costa del Sol.
Yeah, they wear it as a badge of honour that they're not going to learn it as well. They're just not
Yeah, it's a
interested,
badge of
are
honour
they?
for them, yeah.
Yeah, and they get a shitty on if they go somewhere and the servers or the bar staff don't speak English.
Yeah.
It's bang out of order. It's bang, yeah. It pisses
They
me right
give us a
off.
bad name. They really do. Cause
Oh, absolutely.
Me and my wife love to go to different places, and you know, and we find that no matter how terrible you must sound, the locals appreciate you even
Of course they
attempting.
do. Yeah, massively.
Just attempt it.
Yeah.
Just attempt it, yeah. I mean, my future stepdad, yeah. I mean, he lived in Spain for 6 years, and he's terrible. He's terrible, but you know, he still gives it a go.
After 6 years.
And that's what he wants. Yeah. Oh God, he's awful. Yeah.
How long did you take then to be at a reasonable level where you can like hold your own and have a conversation with somebody?
Probably. How long have we been out there now? 4 years, 5 years? Probably only like last year. Only because like I'm so back and forth, you know, in regards to like touring and stuff. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, this year, I mean, I've not been back now for 2 months. I'm going back next week for the first time. You know, I've probably only been there, say, 2 months out of the whole of this year, really. Maybe 3 months out of the whole of this year. So it's different, you know, at different stages, you know. So at that point, you do go away, you forget about it and stuff like that. And then the year before, we were like relentlessly touring, you know. So being on the tour bus and doing that Duolingo thing, we tried that. And then we just did a piece for, I don't know if you saw this piece that we did with Mundial magazine. And it was Nick from the band, and, you know, we got sent to Madrid for this football thing, and he was trying to do the Duolingo thing, and the only thing he kept saying to me was Manzana.
Manzana Roja.
That must just keep coming
It's
up.
weird.
On the app,
It's just like the
yeah.
same thing. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
But that was an incredible trip. To be fair, that was that kind of all came around like last minute. I think Nick just wanted a free trip to Spain, which is fine.
Why not?
I want free trips everywhere as well. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But we kind of came up with an idea. It's incredible. Nick's an amazing writer. He's got a few books out. As well as being in the Coral, he's got 3 or 4 books out, and he's writing one now. And
what's he writes about? What sort of fiction or?
Yeah. And then a lot of it's poetry and stuff like that. And he really wanted to write a football piece, and his way of writing is so unique. I mean, you should definitely check him out. Nick Power 82. I think is his Twitter handle. But we had to come up with an idea and approach Mundial, who like we're good friends with. And there's a team in Madrid called Rayo Vallecano, which is kind of like the left wing team, if you will, as opposed to Atletico Madrid and certainly Real Madrid. And we just wanted to go and visit like Vallecas. There's a book written by a guy called Robbie Dunn. And we just wanted to kind of like go and immerse ourselves in that and kind of photographing. There's a huge thing going on at the minute with their president and doing like a silent protest. And it was like, wow, this is a perfect moment to go over there. So they were trying to literally, the fans, not even move in the ground. So not talk, but they were there paying a ticket to support the team. But
as spectators rather than supporters.
Just be statues. It was
Oh.
yeah, but that particular.
That would be. Did you go to a game?
Yeah, we went to it. Yeah,
while they were doing it,
and I can't remember the game at all.
That's like Goodison at times.
It was wild. I'm glad I was doing the photography side of it, so I was just like, oh, okay. So, but this, but you can see during the night that the photos get a lot worse.
Why do they do that? Why do they choose it? Is that a culture thing that's built into that club, or what's?
No, it was just a protest against the president because. There's a lot going on with the club, and he's not putting a lot of money into the club, and
they want him out,
the way he treats the fans and stuff like that. Yeah, he's not a very nice guy.
Interesting tactic, that.
Yeah,
but a lot of people say
it'd be difficult though, wouldn't it? To kind of like,
especially when your team scores or something controversial happens, and you're like, oh.
I know. So, but it was really funny. So I get there the day before. So it all happened last minute. I was going to fly back to the UK because we had rehearsals in like 4 days, and then we got the go ahead for Mundial, and they were like, right, it's on. Here's your budget, and the budget was shoestring, and it was just like shit. How are we going to be able to do this? Nick's in Liverpool. I'm in the south of Spain. I wasn't even in Barcelona. So Barcelona's Madrid. It's a piece of piss. It's a 2-hour train, and you can get one for €30. I'm like, right, I'm in the south here. What are we going to do? I managed to find this 9-hour train direct from the south down by Almeria, and it was the most beautiful thing. I was like, right, okay, I've got my book, I've got my photography, there's a bar on there, I'll do this in stages, and it was great. So we managed to get there. So I get there the day before and check into this hotel. He's like, what's it like? I'm like, we're in bunk beds, okay. He's just like, oh no, we're not really used to this, like from touring. And he's like, go and do a recce. I was like, I'm definitely going to go, I'm going to do a recce. And so I walked to the grounds. And as I'm approaching the ground, and like I've read so much about Rayo Vallecano, it's like one of my teams out there. It's like really, I do follow them a lot. Approaching the ground, I was like, wow, I've got goosebumps. I've been sent to come and do this. You know what I mean? So I get kicks out of that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like people get kicks of wanting to go like backstage and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my kick. Do you know what I mean? So I'm approaching like Balaquez, which is something I've read about all the years. There's a gate open. It's just like Bentleys. I'm like, it's Rayo Vallecano. You're all driving Bentleys. I'm going, there's something not right here. But they're all just parked, just like, on the pavement. It was the most bizarre thing ever. But there's this door open, and I'm like, they're doing they're training. And I was like, right, I'm gonna have to sneak in here. So I walk in like I own the gaff. I haven't got a strays in my pocket. I haven't got shorts. This isn't like the Parliament thing again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm dressed a little bit more like proper. And I managed to get in. And this guy's like, what you're doing now? Speak back in Spanish. I'm here for AS, which is a Spanish newspaper.
Not just, the Echo this time.
I wasn't the Echo this time. I just went AS like that, and he's just like, right, okay. And then I just start walking on the pitch, and then I'm photographing him, like doing a session and stuff like that. And then eventually, he gets ringing me, and he's just like, get out now. Do you know what I mean? But managed to do that. So, and then the next day, Nick arrives, and it's before the game. The same doors open, and I'm just like, because the president had put like this kind of like press block on. He didn't want any press there whatsoever.
Right.
So Monday, we're trying to get us the accreditation. I was trying to get us accreditation.
Yeah.
There was a few journalists that I know out in Spain, and it was just, and they were just like, look, this is completely on lockdown. I went, fucking hell. So if I don't get the shots, do you know what I mean? I was just, I definitely don't want to get in with the ultras and take shots because they'll be fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
And I respect that. And I was like, but I need to get in the stadium and take a few particular shots here. So again, we just walk in like bosses, right into the centre field this time. This is before kick-off. Get all the photos of Nick, who's doing the writing in there. We get into the tunnel, we do the works, managed to go through the whole stadium. We got everything, yeah, and then it was just like, get out! You know what I mean? Got out, and then we got our tickets, and then that's the last I remember of the game. Apart from we put a bet on, and our bet was winning, and then Rayo scored, so we lost our €60. So we were more gutted than Rayo scored because we quite fancied the €60.
Could have paid for a decent night in a half decent hostel rather than the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then Monday, Al going, did you go out? Did you go out with all the ultras? And we were that wankered. We just stumbled back to this hotel on the far side of Alicante, and then just woke up with ashtrays and bottles of Skull around us.
Skull, lovely.
Skull's big in Madrid.
Is it?
Who knew? I thought it was mad.
Probably like hipster over there, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably hipster over there, and Australia's shite. That's probably
Tell you what,
it is.
it's all right, you know.
People
It was all right. It was the green label one. We got through it.
People talk here about people here love Moretti, but Moretti in Italy apparently is like piss.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
apparently
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're getting on to beer now. Let's not.
It's not going to
Right. The Coral, are they still signed to Polydor? Or was that a long time ago?
No, signed to Ignition now, and it's kind of all like self-release now. Yeah.
Right, okay. But
Don't know if it was ever Polydor.
wasn't it?
It was Delta Sonic.
Delta Sonic, right,
Delta
okay.
Sonic Sony, yeah.
But do you know when you're touring, is it like, did he put you up in 5-star hotels and is it like premium, like everything's boss, or is it just like,
I think with the lads,
in so
like,
many ways these days, like film and media, there's a budget and like,
Oh, there's definitely budgets,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think in the early days, like, it was lavish for them.
I'm thinking like like obviously Britpop era.
Yeah.
And then even...
Oh,
in the
yeah,
early
no,
days,
there's definitely times like when it's gone wild. I think,
Yeah, and the Coral would have just nipped in, certainly not Britpop, but probably just before the industry as it was when kind of like pop, not pop music, but just kind of flatlined. So they probably would have got the end of that, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure now. But no, there's definitely budgets, and it's like, okay, everyone's married.
Yeah.
Apart from myself, and there's kids involved and stuff like that now. It's, you play a show, and it's like, let's no problem getting a travel lodge on an A road, because if you're getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning and we're up at 8,
It's just,
why whack $4,000 on a Hilton? Do you know what I mean? When all we're doing is getting our head down and we're all wanking in the bus. Do you know what I mean? That's the best way.
That's what I was thinking, because it's like that with something like journalism the same now. Like I speak to colleagues who used to work in the 70s and 80s, and it was like they'd almost have a second income from their expenses budget and stuff like that, and stay in the top hotels.
Yeah,
obviously
that would have been nice, wouldn't it?
It would have been nice. Missed out on that golden era, but it's probably the same for the music industry to an extent.
Yeah, of course.
No, it still makes a lot of money,
you see it now. There's no £250,000 record deals going around.
No,
there's a lot of bands not on tour buses.
But the money is in touring, isn't it? Am I right? It's not releasing music so much as...
yeah. Now, the current climate...
Yeah.
You make a lot more money from touring than you do. Because, the whole streaming thing, which at first I was thinking, wow, this is destroying music. Whereas actually, do you know what? It's probably saved it. Because no one was buying music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the whole streaming thing, and the fact it's now affiliated, and it's affiliated with the charts, not that charts.
I suppose it's the argument's muddled because people compare streaming to buying, but buying it finished anyway. People had stopped buying physical stuff,
That's
and
what I'm saying.
we're on Napster or LimeWire, getting it for free.
Yeah.
So streaming should be compared to that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Totally agree with you. Yeah.
People are never going to start going back to Woolworths and HMV.
No.
Were they?
I mean, I love a vinyl.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I think
dive out and buy vinyl, but
I think generations now are missing having. I think that goes with photography as well, I guess, and anything else, and even books that are on Kindle. I think it is nice to hold something, isn't it, and have it.
That's why Nick's going to regret all them CDs in the bottom of the Mersey one.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Jesus Christ, yeah. No, having a physical product is the most beautiful thing, but again, you can't walk around listening to a vinyl when you're walking around town, are you? So, yeah. At first I thought streaming was the worst thing that's ever happened, but, we're all using it, aren't we?
Yeah.
What's the best places to tour or best places to play in cities around the world? Like, what's really made a mark on you?
I don't know, the ones that you don't get to do very often. I mean, the most recent one, but we just came back from Moscow like last month.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to Moscow.
I haven't, no.
I totally blew my mind on another level. On another level. I mean, bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers, but like, yeah, just incredible. And, you know, before we go, no, everyone's got to be careful, be careful. I've never felt safer in a city in all my life. I reckon I could have left my phone and my wallet in the middle of Red Square and it would have been there the following morning. No problem at all. You didn't see one cigarette butt on the thing. It was the cleanest place. Everyone was very beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong. The stairs happen. It's very. You get a look, yeah. And the girl who was our tour guide, she was just like staring at him back, and I was going, fuck off. She was like, just stare at him back. So I did. We were in this bar, and then he was just like, respect. It was bizarre. So like he wanted to kind of just like, okay, yeah, it was
like
a
alpha thing, just like
Like,
meeting.
yeah, you're outside,
she
I'll
was just
stay
like, no,
well.
just keep looking at him, and I was going, no. I was like, no, she's going, just keep looking at him. He's fucking a hench guy. I was like, no, you look at him, you look at him, keep looking at him, and I did, and he loved it. I think he bought us a round of vodka shots, yeah.
It wouldn't last 5 minutes.
But an amazing place. I know. We're back onto Moscow, the most beautiful place, and the gig was incredible. Yeah, probably one of my favourite gigs ever as well.
What's it like being a British band and going to like obscure places
Like that.
are you thinking like,
Yeah.
do they really know all our tunes? Like,
Well, this is the thing, and I think like the Coral, I'd been asked for like the past 6 years to keep going back, and like
Right.
and like I don't know, for whatever reason it never happened, and it was just like, right, we're going, and it was like I don't want to like it was a bit like Beatlemania. It was like it was mad. Do you know what I mean? We did it as soon as we landed. We had to go and do this TV show that none of us had even thought about. That just so happens, we know how big of a country Russia is. It's the biggest TV show in Russia.
Right.
Elton John and Will Smith are on it the week before, and then we're walking
Graham
in
Norton or something like that. Like was it
bigger? Bigger. You know, like Jay Leno gear, Saturday Night Live, like huge. You know, and there's people that have banners and stuff like that outside the TV show, and it's just like, wow, what's going on here?
Wow.
You know, we've just landed here. It was like, do you know what I mean? So we did that, and then from that went out live that night. So then there was so many people outside the gig trying to get in, and it was quite a large venue anyway.
Yeah.
And everyone knew the tunes, and it was going wild. Yeah, so it's one of them. You don't really kind of, unless you kind of like step into it, you know, you don't know what the reaction's going to be like. But yeah, what a place, and what amazing people. I nearly went back like 4 days later because I fell in love with the place that much. Yeah.
Boston.
Yeah, it's amazing. But places like that, and then when you go to the States, play New York was amazing. First ever show I ever sold out with the Hot Melts was New York, so it's like that's always kind of like stuck in there.
Wow,
South Korea is incredible. Again, just kind of places that you don't really get to. I mean, New York's quite popular, but going to South Korea, Moscow. I don't know. In regards to like UK places, Glasgow's always the one. Liverpool's always quite difficult.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because you're a hometown band type thing, or
I don't know. It just always seems very difficult. I think it's because it is the hometown thing, and maybe you think this is going to be
difficult as in flat.
Oh yeah, but I think I think there'll be a lot of people who agree with me that there's a lot of artists from Liverpool who will agree that like it's Liverpool's the tough one. Yeah, I mean, love Liverpool to bits, but it's in regards to playing a gig, it's hard work. Like
in the sense that like they don't just invest straight away. They're like standing there like, come on, entertain us and impress us.
Yeah, no, and I totally respect that.
But is that
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. But again, like I was saying earlier on, I just stand there at a gig. I mean, I'll clap. Woo! Might even give it the odd word, but I mean, I find it difficult. Yeah. I don't think you can really gauge it.
What do you think of this semi-recent phenomenon, which I fucking hate, of people lashing plastic pints in gigs? Does that happen a lot of shows?
Does that come from the World Cup?
I don't know where it's come from. It's fucking
That's
annoying.
where it went me.
It's fucking annoying.
Really annoying.
Well, especially when you've got like thousands and thousands of pounds worth of equipment sitting on stage. That I'm sorry if that lands on James's pedalboard, Paul Malloy's pedalboard.
Yeah, we're
fucking in trouble, and it might fucking an electric shot. I don't know. People seem to think it's a laugh. Yeah, first of all, that's just cost you £7 at the bar, you idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the
drink it. But then the second thought is just like, is that piss coming my way?
Well, that's it. That's the one.
Do you know what I mean?
Questioning what is this fluid?
Luckily, they never really reach us. I think I had one that went. I didn't even. My head was down. I just remember seeing this bang. like that. I mean, Tech was there, and he was cleaning up. But I was just thinking, is that a waste? I saw some guy at Reading Festival. Have you seen the clip?
No.
Oh my God, you have to try and find the clip. And he's there. It's his punk band, I think. And he's on stage, and he's on the barrier, and he's going mental like that, and he just sees it coming, and he just grabs it and drinks it.
Really? Catches it?
He catches it, and he's coming that way, and he's facing that way, and he just goes, bang, drinks it. I was
Wow.
like, that's the coolest. If we could all do that,
Yeah.
I'll be like, Sam, throw me a pint, yeah.
It's
But
I noticed it big time. Obviously, the World Cup was
very
insane.
laddish, innit?
Very laddish.
Yeah,
Very
you can name
boisterous.
the bands where it happens.
Very
and I'm not gonna
boisterous,
mention it.
pack mentality. I love the streets. I went to two of their gigs last year. So I went to one in Leeds.
Yeah.
I think might have been the O2 Academy.
Right.
And it was one of them venues where they sell 2 pints in a glass. Yeah. So it's fucking 2 pints, mate, not just one.
Tenner.
And,
More.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Drink
And
it. Just fucking drink it.
we got a boss little spec down by the front, but to the right. And yeah, a couple of just certain tunes they played was just pints getting thrown everywhere. But luckily, it was right down the middle of the venue. Right down the middle. And in the same, we went to see them in Manchester in January last year, and that was exactly the same.
I don't know
So
where
I think
it's come
it
from.
is certain bands who have certain
Yeah.
followings.
Yeah, we can name them. We're gonna. But it's bizarre. But it's when like you're looking at the crowd, you see one hit like a poor girl on the head, and it's
Yeah,
like, man,
it's
you're
horrible,
so
isn't it?
great for the night.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
like a poor lad, that's like, it's horrible. And then you see
Stinking
them crying. You're like, that's ruined someone's night.
Yeah.
That, do you know what I mean?
And you go into a gig to listen to music and be in a good mood, and everyone else is there for the same reason. And that's
Yeah.
a band they all like and you like.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick and do that. Like.
Yeah.
So does it happen at your gigs? And if so, is there a particular tune it's like particularly, I don't know, rowdy, I guess?
It's got to
like,
be Dreaming of You, hasn't it, I would imagine.
Yeah, that in the morning, stuff like that. Yeah. But they don't really come our way. It's very rare.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're one of those kind of laddish bands.
I wouldn't put you down as that.
No,
No,
you get the odd one, and I just go, "What a waste of money, pal." But I mean,
Yeah.
no, we don't really get that. I don't think, no. But we're lucky enough that it's just more limbs, and it's always good to see a body flying in the air.
Yeah.
They were so young when they started, the rest of the band, weren't they?
But yeah,
When they cut their first album, was it like 16, 17?
16, I think. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, this
Yeah,
year,
really young.
yeah. Well, it's a 20th anniversary this year, I think,
It's
from
mad,
the first album. Yeah, so something's happening in regards to that. I can't mention that, I don't think. But there's exciting things still happening.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A new album's just been finished as well.
Yeah.
Which is good, which will be coming out. I'm not sure with the date of things, but I think it's going to be mid-year, for kind of like festival time.
Will you tour with them for that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Unless Barcelona have come in, Espanyol, and then, no, unless something else has come in. No, look, I mean, I'm just very lucky to be balancing the both at the minute, and I don't think a lot of bands tour January, February, March anyway. And the itineraries start coming in, and this is kind of fell at the right time in regards to the UEFA B thing and the Football Association of Wales, that I can just now focus on this, and just get this finished. Do you know what I mean? Because it's I opened up my laptop yesterday and I just went, oh God, I mean, I've got a lot to catch up on. So.
Be perfect then to album come out, smash a load of festivals, and then Spanish speaking manager joins an English club, or
Right.
English speaking manager joins a Spanish club.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I know.
Boom, ticks
I'll
all
need
the boxes.
I'll need a translator over here, like like a Bielsa thing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've definitely got it back.
San Marino style, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sound. All right, mate. Well, listen. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much for
Been
having me. I hope
a
it was
real
all right.
pleasure.
Loved it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Excellent.
Nice
Nice
one.
one, mate.
Cheers, fella.
Nice one.